start somewhere and pour into day to day, what does it look like without ever talking about winning or losing, but just how do you instill confidence in these guys while it's their everyday preparation?
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
Your freshman year, you coached at Westerville Central?
I did. My freshman year, I was just a student.
Okay.
My second year, coached at Westerville Central.
Okay. And so that was with Coach Jones?
Yep.
Okay. So now you have to start a program, right, from scratch?
From absolute
And you had no seniors, right?
Had no juniors either.
You had only freshmen and sophomores?
Sophomores.
Woo. What'd you learn about building a team in that scenario?
Survival mode. Man, total survival mode. We played a smaller school schedule, but I remember going down to Amanda Clear Creek and won a ton of games.
Oh, yeah.
And taking these freshmen and sophomores and convincing them that we can go play.
Isn't that where the Hinton?
Yeah.
Which Hinton was the head coach there? Tim's brother.
It was Tim's brother, Jay. Man, don't quote me on that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, but they had great programs.
That was 2003.
Right.
They had a great program. And we played some schools that size. And, man, again, I was 19, coaching the D-line, JV defensive coordinator, like trying to just figure out what
responsibility, though.
A ton of responsibility. Yeah. And trying to just going to school, driving up there, and it was the first time I realized, like, this is what I want to do. Like, I would go through class, would get through college to get there at 2:30, and I remember from charging headsets to setting up practice, like, it's what, like, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't wait till 2:30 every day. That's what I was excited about. And you had freshmen, sophomores that were looking for somebody to just help give them some level of confidence to go play a varsity schedule.
That was going to be my question. How do you build a team when you're outmanned? You know, or how do you build a business when you're clearly the competitors have more advantages? What unique things did you learn about team when you're in some ways, a no-win situation?
Yeah, I think that was probably the first time that I really thought about focusing on something other than the winning, and really, you can look at it a bunch of different ways, but it was the first time, and I don't know that I really knew of it as process, but it was the first time where I thought, if we can focus on just getting better, and how you quantify getting better, it's hard to put on paper necessarily, but I knew we had to start somewhere, obviously there, but you just had to build something. You had to get better at something. And I learned anything, it was fundamentals, technique, and the initial part of just teaching process. What does it actually take to get ready for, in that case, a Friday night where you knew you had no shot?
Right.
But we knew, man, when these guys are going to be juniors and then eventually seniors, if we can lay a foundation for what process looks like for these kids. And at that time, it was just, man, I got to lift weights, and I got to put my pants on the right way, and little things that would eventually help them. To be honest with you, 20 years later, when I got here and sat down in that chair, I had to sit there and look at, like, where do we start?
Yeah.
Go back to, we have to teach these guys what real process looks like, and no different 20 years ago at West. I don't know if I know at that time I was just trying to figure out what the heck was going on, let alone that we're building a program and a team. But start somewhere and pour into day to day, what does it look like without ever talking about winning or losing, but just how do you instill confidence in these guys while it's their everyday preparation?
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.